Sometimes we feel like we know exactly who we want to be and what we want to do, and we just have to follow a simple, straightforward path to fulfill those thoughts and feel accomplished. But life is full of curveballs and twists, and not everything is going to go as expected. Things always change, and the path you think you're going down veers off into another, which can be confusing, stressful, and even demotivating. Today, I'm a sophomore at junior college. This is not the initial path I thought I'd be going down, but a lot has happened to bring me to where I am today. It's a bumpy journey filled with stress and doubt, but I don't regret any of it, and I'd do it all again. Ever since 3rd grade, I discovered that I loved to draw. It was a perfect way to express myself, which I was otherwise bad at doing because I was young. I used to make comics constantly, and when I grew up, I wanted to be a cartoonist and make them for a living. I actually kept making these comics up until the end of high school, but by then I was also doing more advanced drawing and fine art stuff. Either way, my passion continued on, and it was always a huge part of me. Even though I wasn't a great student and my grades were kind of mediocre, I still pulled through and graduated, and thanks to my portfolio, I got accepted into several art schools, including the one that I really wanted to go to, the Maryland Institute College of Art. I thought Micah was going to be the turning point of my artistic career. Although I didn't make comics at that point anymore, I felt more creative than ever, dabbling in concept art, character design, storyboarding, and choosing animation as my new dream career. I thought this was the place where I could bring the stories that I had to life. However, something happened. What I thought had been my dream school made me utterly miserable. Very few people were inviting or friendly. I didn't like Baltimore as much as I thought I would. The curriculum made me feel less inspired and more hopeless than ever. I thought to myself, this wasn't supposed to happen. This is my future. I can't feel this way. But I did. I felt trapped, alone, and lost, without a clue of what I was going to do. At one point I just sat in a corner of one of the school buildings and just thought, I want to go home over and over again. It's all I could think about. When I went to one of my professors and told her about this, she actually suggested that I leave Micah and take a gap year to figure things out, and that I shouldn't stay here if it makes me miserable, like I don't have a purpose. Hearing her advice made me ecstatic, like a huge weight was lifted off my shoulders. It wasn't what I expected, but I knew I wouldn't feel trapped anymore. I could finally move forward. When I dropped out of Micah, it was a remarkable feeling. I was happy that I was home and that I could figure out the next steps. But then I wondered, what were those next steps? I thought I had things planned out, but now that was all thrown out the window. So what do I do now? Well, at the start of the following year, I began my first actual job at a pet food and supply store. Besides getting the experience, the money, and the opportunity to play with cats, it made me feel like I was accomplishing something for myself. Later in the year was when I decided I would enter community college and enter the fray of school once more. It was almost surreal to be back in that sort of environment after Micah, but it gave me plenty of time to myself to read, write, and come up with more creative ideas and endeavors than I ever had before. However, I still didn't feel like I was going anywhere. I began feeling more lost than I ever have, just like I did when I was at Micah. I didn't know where I was going and how I was going to get there again. It's when I knew I didn't want to feel that way anymore, and I would do something to make it so. The end of the year came, and I went to a college counselor who was super helpful in finding the school that would be the perfect place for me. It gave me possibilities and choices to consider, another way forward, and one of those schools, which I eventually applied to and got accepted to, was junior college. And that's where everything took a turning point. I visited Juniata with my parents and instantly fell in love with it. The campus was beautiful, the admissions faculty was really friendly and helpful, and I was really interested in the curriculum and the integrated media arts major. I thought, this is it. This is where I want to be. I still had my worries and reservations though. I would be older than the majority of my class because of my time out of school, so I was wondering if I would even fit in with anyone. Maybe I wouldn't actually like what I'm doing again. Would I feel lost like I did before? Thankfully, when I started my time at Juniata, my fears were completely obliterated. I finally felt like I belonged somewhere, and Juniata basically became my second home. I joined the video production team, my grades were better than ever, and I met so many wonderful people, including my lovely girlfriend Sky. We've been dating for more than a year now. To be honest, I never would have even thought of going to a liberal arts school in the middle of Pennsylvania. I wouldn't have thought this would be where I am today when I still wanted to do comics or animation. But going through that rough period is what brought me here, to where I'm comfortable and have a place. The path I took to get here was not easy, and it certainly wasn't clear-cut either. There was a lot of decisions and self-discovery that I had to overcome to get here, and it was all worth it. I'm still drawing too, and constantly coming up with new ideas on how to express my creativity and myself. Of course, I've still got a long ways to go in so many ways that I still sometimes wonder where I'm headed next. What kind of trouble will I have in the future? I still worry about that. But knowing what I've already went through, the only option is just to keep going forward without fear or hesitation. Because with enough confidence and determination, and despite the inevitable troubles I've yet to have, the path ahead looks pretty bright.